Senator Cortez Masto.
Thank you. I appreciated the line of questioning. It was really enlightening. So, Dr. Shelton, let me ask you this. In July of 2015, you presented at the Cato University, excuse me, and at that event, in response to a question, you said, and I quote, "I don't trust government statistics on GDP growth or on inflation." So what specifically about those statistics do you distrust?
I think it's a challenge to look at, particularly with regard to inflation, the variety of indices. We're mostly familiar with the Consumer Price Index. The Fed uses the Personal Consumption Expenditures Index. I'm not sure that either really captures the impact of technological innovation. That is, a basket of goods priced at a certain level today might be delivering a lot more in terms of services than say, a telephone from 20 years ago. And so I'm not saying I distrust. I'm just saying that it's difficult to measure consistently through time consumer price indices and then use that as the main tool for making monetary policy.
Are there other government statistics that you feel the same way about?
I'm not sure what ones I would suggest.
Let me ask you this. There's been a lot of talk about the gold standard in your previous writings and your position on eliminating the federal deposit insurance. And I was looking at your book, Money Meltdown, that you wrote in 1994, and really the last paragraph from the section that talks about gold convertibility, you basically state that eliminating the federal deposit insurance would restore the essential character of banking as a vehicle for channeling financial capital into productive investments while striving to meet the risk and timing preferences of depositors. So if you were appointed to the Federal Reserve, would you still consider that as an opportunity or an option to focus on and advocate for the elimination of the federal deposit insurance?
Senator, no. I think that having deposit insurance is essential to maintain trust in the American banking sector. And I was merely using an example to explain moral hazard by suggesting that in the presence of government insurance, the owners of the bank, of a failing bank, may be motivated to engage in more risky behavior than they would in the absence of government insurance. And I think it's important that the owners of the bank bear the brunt of the cost of paying for failure rather than having the government step in.
Okay. I guess along with my colleagues, I'm concerned, and let me just say this, because you have a history of writings, and you should be proud of them. They're your writings, they're your belief, and based on your background and experience. But when you come before us for this position, it seems like you're taking a 180-degree position on all of this just to be appointed to this position. So how do we trust that whether you're before us today and who you are today versus your writings in the past, who are we getting that is going to be on the Federal Reserve? And one final thing. You said you're from Fredericksburg, Virginia, but you're going to be representing California on the Federal Reserve. Explain that to me.
I believe that issue you mentioned there at the end is decided by other people. I'm not involved with that, but my understanding is that all the governors are assigned effectively to a district, and that my correlation with the San Francisco district bank is quite strong. I was born and raised in California. My family behind me can verify that. And I went to school in California, in Oregon, my graduate work in Utah, all of states within the San Francisco district. My husband and I own homes in Utah and California. My first position after receiving my doctorate was at the Hoover Institution in San Francisco, or in Palo Alto, very near to San Francisco. So I have a very strong affiliation with California and feel close to that area.
Thank you. So who are we getting? Who are we getting on the board? The woman who wrote extensively and should be proud of it, or the woman sits before us today and is countering everything that she has said in the past? So help me with that.
Senator, you are getting the authentic Judy Shelton. I feel I have been intellectually consistent throughout my career, always focusing on monetary policy that is conducive to productive economic growth.
Okay, thank you.